Hidden in the hills of Cuautlan del Rio lies a facility so feared, so secretive, that locals call it El Cementerio de las Vivas, the Cemetery of the Living. Cefereso 16 isn't a nickname tossed around lightly. This is a prison where women are not just incarcerated, they're erased. Many of them remain without trial, trapped in conditions that human rights activists describe as psychological torture. Extreme isolation, torture allegations, political targeting, and cartel-related detentions all swirl behind its heavily fortified walls. In today's documentary, we go behind the silence, into the dark corridors of Cefereso 16. Who are these women? Why are they here? And what does their suffering reveal about Mexico's justice system? Cefereso 16, a prison designed for silence. Cefereso 16 is located in Cuautlan del Rio, Morelos, a quiet municipality roughly 80 kilometers south of Mexico City. Tucked into the countryside, this maximum security facility was originally constructed to house male inmates. In 2016, it was converted into an all-women's prison, intended for those deemed Mexico's highest risk: alleged cartel figures, political prisoners, and women implicated in national security cases. Unlike other prisons, Cefereso 16 operates under a shroud of near-total secrecy. Journalists are denied entry, families struggle to receive updates, official government information is minimal, and the few details we know come from rare legal filings and first-hand testimonies from those released. The prison's physical design reinforces this silence. Thick concrete walls, soundproof cells, restricted communal areas, and minimal access to natural light create a suffocating environment. Outdoor time, when granted, is limited and closely monitored. Human rights observers have compared Cefereso 16 to CIA black sites, facilities built not to rehabilitate, but to isolate and suppress. With almost no contact allowed between inmates and strict controls on movement and speech, the facility has become a place where women disappear not only from society, but from each other. It is, by design, a prison built for silence. Who are the women inside? The women imprisoned in Cefereso 16 come from different backgrounds, but most share one thing in common. They've been caught in the machinery of a deeply flawed system. Some are accused cartel operatives, others labeled terrorists or political threats. A number were arrested for protesting or exposing government corruption. But many, perhaps too many, are simply victims of circumstance. Take the case of Veronica Razo. Arrested in 2011, she was tortured into signing a confession she later recanted. She spent years awaiting trial, denied bail and adequate legal support before being transferred to Cefereso 16. Her story is not an anomaly, it's a pattern. Some inmates have been inside for years without formal charges or convictions. Others were allegedly coerced into confessions using force or psychological manipulation. Many lack access to independent lawyers and were denied the right to contact their families during the initial stages of detention. A recurring theme emerges: these women are often poor, indigenous, or socially marginalized. They're easy to target and easier to forget. Without resources, their legal defense is often minimal or entirely absent. Many have no idea when or if they will be released. As one human rights report stated, these women are not just inmates, they are scapegoats in a broken system. Inside Cefereso 16, the way an inmate is treated frequently depends less on what she did and more on who she is believed to be. Whether falsely accused, politically inconvenient, or affiliated with organized crime, her path leads to the same dark place. Isolation as punishment. No voice, no light, no contact. In Cefereso 16, isolation is not just a condition, it's a weapon. Many inmates spend weeks, even months, in solitary confinement. Some cells have constant artificial light, others are left in complete darkness. The goal is total disorientation. Prisoners are denied access to phones, family visits, and even written communication. In extreme cases, contact with legal counsel is also delayed or limited. Inside the prison, guards rarely speak to inmates. Orders are issued with cold efficiency. There's no eye contact, no small talk, no connection. The walls between cells are so thick that prisoners cannot hear each other. No voices, no footsteps, only silence. This sensory deprivation has serious psychological consequences. Former inmates report experiencing hallucinations, intense anxiety, memory loss, and disassociation. One legal expert dubbed it invisible punishment, a system that leaves no visible scars but does irreversible damage to the mind. The cells themselves are stark and unwelcoming. No windows, no clocks, just a cement bench, a toilet, and walls that absorb sound like a tomb. Even when prisoners aren't physically harmed, the environment ensures that their minds begin to unravel. This form of punishment operates outside public view, but its impact is profound. It's designed to erase personality, to dissolve identity, and to break spirit without laying a hand. In Cefereso 16, silence isn't golden, it's weaponized. and those subjected to it often emerge changed forever, if they emerge at all. Allegations of torture and human rights violations. Cefereso 16 has been at the center of multiple human rights investigations, with some of the most disturbing allegations coming from the women detained within its walls. Amnesty International, the UN Committee Against Torture, and several Mexican NGOs have gathered testimonies suggesting that prisoners sent to Cefereso 16 are often victims of prior abuse, and that the abuse doesn't always end at the gate. The accusations range from physical beatings and electric shocks to psychological torment and sleep deprivation. Some women report being subjected to mock executions or suffocated with plastic bags during interrogations. Others describe being denied medical treatment as a form of coercion. Cefereso 16 is frequently described as a place where torture survivors are further silenced. It's used not only as a high-security detention center, but as a holding zone for women the state wants out of sight and out of mind. Allegations suggest that some detainees are sent here specifically after enduring forced confessions, kept in isolation so they can't retract their statements or speak out. Even routine aspects of prison life are tainted by abuse. Women have been denied hygiene products, subjected to degrading strip searches, and punished for asking for basic necessities. In some cases, these women have chronic medical conditions left entirely untreated. What makes these allegations more painful is the lack of accountability. Investigations are slow or non-existent. Those who testify risk retaliation. In this system, silence protects the abuser and buries the truth with the victims. The legal limbo. Trials that never come. For many women inside Cefereso 16, the harshest punishment isn't a guilty verdict, it's the wait. Pretrial detention in Mexico is meant to be temporary, but in practice, it stretches for years. Inmates are left in limbo with no conviction, no sentencing, and no clear timeline for justice. Their legal status remains unresolved, yet they're subjected to the full weight of maximum security confinement. The reasons are complex and systemic. Mexico's judicial system is overwhelmed, underfunded, and often plagued by corruption. Public defenders are routinely assigned more cases than they can manage and, in some instances, are pressured to neglect certain clients. Investigations are slow, court dates are postponed repeatedly, and procedural violations are common. Some women never see a judge. Others wait 5 or even 10 years for a trial. In that time, they may lose contact with family, deteriorate mentally and physically, or be forgotten entirely. Bribes are often required just to obtain information. Families of inmates report having to travel across states and pay intermediaries just to receive basic updates. Even then, answers are vague or misleading. One mother described it heartbreakingly. She hasn't been convicted, but she's already being punished. In Cefereso 16, the presumption of innocence is a formality, not a reality. The prison doesn't wait for a verdict, it imposes one. For many women, this isn't a legal process. It's a slow erasure. And while their cases languish in bureaucratic backlogs, their lives slip away behind the walls. Life inside. Routine, surveillance, and despair. Inside Cefereso 16, life is stripped down to routine, surveillance, and silence. The day begins at 5 a.m. with a sharp wake-up call. Inmates eat in total silence. No talking, no eye contact, no movement beyond what's allowed. Every corner of the prison is monitored by CCTV, with guards watching from behind mirrored glass. There are no communal activities, no group recreation, no educational programs or job training. Prisoners are confined to their cells for most of the day. Outdoor time, if granted at all, is a strictly controlled 1-hour window in a barren yard. Even that is sometimes withheld as punishment. Meals are minimal and often nutritionally lacking. Some women rely on food parcels sent by family, but these are frequently delayed, reduced, or intercepted entirely. The lack of nutrition leads to rapid physical decline, compounding the mental strain. Silence isn't a choice, it's enforced. Even whispering can result in disciplinary action, including solitary confinement. Psychological evaluations are routinely used to justify continued isolation, often without explanation or recourse. Over time, this oppressive environment breaks people down. Survivors have reported losing their ability to speak naturally. Others describe long periods of dissociation or full mental breakdowns. One woman said it felt like being buried alive in slow motion. Cefereso 16 doesn't just confine, it erases. And for the women inside, every day becomes a battle not just for survival, but for memory, identity, and hope. If this video moved you, don't just scroll away, take action. Hit the like button to support content that brings hidden stories to light. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone who needs to know what's happening behind closed doors. Leave a comment below. What are your thoughts on justice, prison reform, and the women forgotten inside Cefereso 16? Your voice matters more than you think. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening documentaries that expose the truth, amplify silenced voices, and challenge systems built on secrecy. Together, we can turn awareness into accountability. See you in the next video.